Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Sandy Peterson and Lincoln Peterson from Peterson Games, looking at Glorantha, the God's War, which Sandy, just before we started this video, was saying there's a small overprint of the production run.
The backers all got their copies, and there's a small overprint, and we will eventually be reprinting it, but for a little while there may be a dearth. We have them here at the convention, though. And this is an asymmetrical strategy game where you pay an elemental force like sky or moon or storm or darkness or chaos, and it's the creation myth of the world.
Okay.
Or possibly the destruction myth, depending on who you are, which you wanted to go.
I guess
and
where you stand in the world. Yeah.
And if you're familiar with Cthulhu Wars, this has some similarities, but it's a more formal, structured game than Cthulhu Wars. There's more even though it's zero sum, there is actually cooperation at points where you work with someone else for things that will benefit you both.
Okay.
It has buildings unlike. You have an infrastructure where you're building temples and shrines and ziggurats and getting them built up, and these actually have a combat ability and give you power and influence in the game. And your faction sheet here, this is an example of the Sky faction sheet. You have these gifts that you're trying to use, like miracles your god can produce, and when you accomplish one of these tasks, you put a myth on it, and then now you can do that special feature.
Okay.
And so the order in which you do these tasks can be different every game, and which gifts you get can be different every game.
Okay.
And your units are all different every game. Well, not units aren't different, but you're different. All the units of Sky are different from all the units from Storm.
Right.
But Sky always is the same.
Individual.
Yes.
Faction.
You're trying to earn runes, which are the yellow cards in the middle, which you can conceal and play at any point. And they might give you victory points, they might give you magic, they might give you some special ability, but they're all different, and they all do something that's fun. You can keep it concealed till the right moment.
Okay.
So they're a little addition.
Okay.
There's it's based on Greg Stafford's world of Glorantha. It's very heavily steeped in the lore, and it's a time period that usually fans of Glorantha don't see games on, because it's actually back in the mythic prehistory.
Okay.
And so this lets them see their characters fight in the olden days. And a lot of them that play games such as RuneQuest will have characters who worship the gods that in this you're being and fighting over. So
okay. So now you get to actually live out that past.
live out that myth and see, is chaos going to destroy the world or not? Well, you can be chaos and find out.
Okay. I believe you mentioned this was more structured, you said?
This is more structured.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, there's a council phase when all the gods sit in council and decide certain things in a certain order. And there's even a phase there's phases where people actually will vote on some result of the game.
Okay.
And of course they're all out for themselves, but sometimes one player's ahead and they'll kind of vote that guy down if they can.
Right.
Or they can bid power to do things, such as with the Chaos Rift. At one point the spike explodes and there's a Chaos Rift, and everyone's units start falling into the rift, except for Chaos, who loves the rift, And so everyone has to bid points to close the rift, and you do a secret bidding on a die. And the number on the die is how much power you're spending to close it. And if everyone bids enough power, it closes. But of course, if you bid a lot of power, then you have less power for your turn. So everyone kind of wants to defect. So sort of like a 2 to 6, 8 player prisoner's dilemma, and that's during the council phase.
Okay.
And then also you have a structure, like I said. You don't just kick someone off their building, off their gate and take it. You have your actual building that does things.
This is my
and of course
temple.
They can capture it and take it over, but they have to do. They can't just walk in. They have to get rid of it.
Okay.
So, and the world is more structured because it's not Earth. It's like flat, and there's a sky that you can go into the sky in the heavens and play up there, and there's a hell underneath the earth. You can go down into hell and do things there.
Okay.
And it's harder to get out of hell because hell is always tougher to get out of. So, for example, one of the sky god starts with the sun god in hell, because the murder of the sun god starts the darkness. Now, sun god's in hell, so nobody can see it. No one has any light anymore. So the sun god's trying to get out of hell. The other players don't want him to get out of hell because, of course, they want to win. But on the other hand, the sun god keeps offering bribes and threats, and he bullies you until eventually someone lets him out. And then, they get whatever rewards he's offered for it.
So having a lot of shifting alliances over the entire game.
Exactly, the shifting alliances. And
okay. All right. Anything else? There are expansions as well, yes? Or
there are expansions, yes. There's the core game is what you see here. Well, actually, there's more than this because there's more pieces. But
Right.
and then there's the Empires box, which has 4 more factions all in the same box with the 6 to 8 player map.
Okay.
So that gives you all the factions that are in the game. Then there's a couple other things. There's the Empires. What do they call it? The factions. There's the
Yes.
Empires box that gives you all the factions. Then there's some monsters and some independent races you can get if you wish, just to add even more variety. And there's also one expansion which is pure bling, which is replacing the cardboard buildings with plastic ones.
Okay. All right.
But hey, bling is a thing, so.
That's right. People like it. This is approximately 1 carry-on sized game. Possibly it fits in a carry-on. I don't know if you've actually tried that yet, but
I believe it will fit in a carry-on luggage.
there you go.
But
So-
you may want. But then you have to give the Empire's box to your wife for her to carry it on, or your buddy.
That's good. You got it all planned out.
Got to hire a Sherpa, and yeah.
That's very helpful.
We haven't always been about the slim impact of our game on a gaming table.
No.
It's been about the spectacle of the
There you go.
luxury
Excess.
things. Yeah. No,
Right.
that's just right. It's not excess. This is what you want. How can you not want a Storm God like this? This is a Storm God. And then here is a 28mm Storm Barbarian. And he's the correct size for the Storm God, see?
That's perfect. All right.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sandy and Lincoln.
Okay,
For
yeah.
looking at Glorantha, the God's War.